everybody, this is Kodak here, and I've got something neat for you today. So, this afternoon, discovered in my mailbox the Battle Spirit Saga at Home kit. Now, this was part of a promotion by TCG Player. This was, they had a bunch of these kits to give away, and I managed to squeeze in the window to actually get a copy of it. As you can see, this envelope is still completely sealed. I'm going to be doing this as a sort of semi-blind opening, taking a look at the Battle Spirit Saga kit. So this is, yes, an unscripted video, so be ready for that just in case. The reason I'm taking a look at Battle Spirit Saga is because it's the return of the game Battle Spirits. Now, a lot of you might have heard of Battle Spirits, like you can see here on this ratty old mat, and I have this little ratty bag of Battle Spirits cores, but a lot of people have asked me my opinions on Battle Spirits, but I've never actually talked about it, and, well, here's the reason why. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my entire Battle Spirits collection. It is fewer than 60 cards, and half of them, as you can see, for some reason, have white backs. So, I have less than 60 cards to show off Battle Spirits. That's why I haven't really talked about it. I don't have too much experience in the game. The cores, the playmat, the shirt I've worn a few times, those all came to me by winning a preview event back in 2009, back when I was still living in Texas. These white-backed cards here are cards from the demo decks that were used in the tournament. And I have since then pared it down to just one copy of each card. There might be a couple of cards missing in here, but that's because I have them in the black-back legal format. This was actually a thing for a very, very long time, where the cards in these demo decks were not legal for play. You had to buy the proper cards because these were all marked in some way that made them not legal for play. Like the white backs, some cards say like demo card on them. That was a big thing for a while. I don't think games really do that anymore. I think that's fallen out of fashion. I guess part of that is because it comes with like a bunch of like really powerful cards, like a bunch of 8-cost creatures. But anyway, the story behind Battle Spirits, it's a game, it's another game by Bandai, and they've been making a lot of them lately. But Battle Spirits is a game that's kind of similar to Duel Masters, but it's very different. So another thing I still have from that time is the playmat that I demoed on. They let me take back a bunch of stuff, so we still have our nice big field here. So how Battle Spirits works is it's similar to Duel Masters in that you have monsters with powers in multiples of 1,000. You have a life counter that affects gameplay as you take damage. But let me see. Let me pull out a bunch of cards here. And you, and let's pull out some of the demo cards, and you, and you, and you. So I have these, this was another thing I got. I got like some premium like glass cores. Like a lot of the cores, they'd be like little cutouts or something, like little cardboard cutouts. I wonder if that's in the at-home kit. But I got these nice glass ones. And what happens is you get 5 cores in your life at the start of the game and 4 to spend. Now, the goal of the game is to, of course, reduce all of your opponent's life cores to nothing. I think it uses the Duel Master system of requiring you to attack once even after you've depleted their cores. Let me see. I'll check on the back. It's a good thing I don't have a deck of cards set on here, because if I did, it would be a disaster as I check the rules. That's why you never print them on the back. So let me see. The first player... Okay. Keep changing turns until there is a winner. Oh, they put winning conditions at the bottom. That's weird. Reduce an opponent's life to 0. So if they run out of cores... period, they're donezo. It's not like they get one more life point after all 5 of their cores are gone. So the thing that makes Battle Spirits unique is its payment system, because what happens is each of these cards has a casting cost associated with them. Like, we got this one here. This is Gora. What happens is he technically has a casting cost of 0. However, it does still cost something to put him into play, because in order to keep a monster in play, it has to have at least one core on it. So you have 4 cores on your first turn in order to spend, and you have to have at least 1 core on a character, and you can actually have more than 1 core on each of these monsters, and you're sort of freely able to manipulate how the cores are placed on the field. So I could give him 2 more cores to increase him to level 2, which makes him 3,000 power, because his level 2 cost is 3. So each of these creatures can have different levels, which make them stronger, so the cards are extremely modular. However, another thing that having this guy in play does is it lowers the costs of other red cards I want to put into play. Like, let's say I want to play Rockceratops. So hopefully I know this camera can be kind of disagreeing on it. So Rockceratops has a cost of 1, but he also has a little red orb next to the 1. What happens is each of the creatures, they have like a little gem on the bottom right corner there. And what those gems can do is they can reduce the cost to get monsters into play. So each of these gems you have basically counts as 1 for the same color of card here. So by already having Gora in play, I can reduce Rockceratops by up to 1. So he costs 0, but he still has that sparkling star there, which tells me I still have to move a gem to put him down. So there are some other ones here, like Metal Burn. So he costs 3, so you'd think that means by having 2 reds in play, I can reduce it by 2. But he only has 1 red circle, so I could only reduce his cost by 1. So I could reduce his cost down to 2 if I wanted to, but I only have 2 cores left. I could take one of the cores from here to help pay that cost, but I would still need, because I have enough cores to play him, but I don't have any remaining cores to keep him in play. So I would have to discard one of these creatures from play. Like, I could pay the 2, in which case they go to my trash, and I do get all the cores from my trash back at the start of my turn. I can put him into play, and then I can move a core to pay for the cost, and now I can have him in play. And that's kind of how it goes. That's how you get out like the really big ones. Is the really big ones like the Gigantic Fortress Giga. He has a cost of 8, but I can reduce that cost by up to 4. So I can, by having a bunch of creatures in play, I can also use the cores on those creatures to pay the cost, to essentially cheat him out and get him into play. So there's a lot of ways to get creatures into play, but the manipulation of the cores is it kind of prevents like low level rush strategies, but you do also kind of have this level where you build up, like you go from 0 to 1 to 3 to 5 to whatever. And of course there's also spells, and there's things called nexuses, which are more like enchantments or like field spells or something like that. They'll actually stay in play if they have 0 cores left on them. If a creature has 0 cores, it goes away, like I showed off with Gora. And of course, if a creature attacks, if it's unblocked, the opponent takes 1 damage, but that core goes into their reserve. So, unlike with Duel Masters, where taking damage gets you more cards to play with, taking damage in Battle Spirits gets you more money. So you want to be careful how you plan out your attacks, how you plan out taking down your opponents, because there's a chance you might give them a little extra money and they'd be able to get away with a whole lot more. So that is the gist of original Battle Spirits. And when I first saw the announcements for Battle Spirits Saga, I assumed that it was the same game. However, I have since heard some rumors and ruminations that it is in fact a different game. Battle Spirits, it died it was DOA in the United States. It basically did not get anywhere. Similar to Duel Masters, they came around, or this came out a long time after Duel Masters. But it was another game that was sort of dead on arrival. It was during the part of the sort of the tail end of the flood. So it was fighting an uphill battle. But apparently, from what I've heard, Dragon Spirits Saga, Battle Spirits, not Dragon Spirits, Battle Spirits Saga is a completely different game. And so we are going to learn about that right now. So this envelope, it's a nice paper envelope. It did ship in a bubble mailer, but it has a hard something in here. I don't know if this is a hard like bubble sleeve or like some kind of cardboard cutout or something, but we'll find out as we open this baby up. Oh, it actually opens up pretty well. Let's see. So, inside this freshly opened envelope, okay, yeah, it's cardboard. Oh, there's something stuck in there. All right, so we got... Ooh, I think I see at least, I think I see acrylic... I see acrylic cores in there, similar to the... Although mine are actually, like, you can actually hear, like, the... You can actually hear the rattling. Those are actually glass. These, I reckon, are going to be plastic, but it looks like it's a pair of matching decks. These look the same so far. It doesn't really look any different. So let us have a look. Battle Spirits Saga half deck set and worldview sheet. So it's a pair of half decks. Depending on how they're built, maybe I can mash them together into a full deck. So let me see. Let's set this aside for now. These are identical, so I'll be able to show off what I have. Oop. So we have a lot of cores in here. We have a red core. I don't remember the red core. That's a new one. Yeah, this is plastic with like some fun glitter inside of it. Let's see. Yeah, it's like it's the same shape as what is it? It's not called a dodecahedron. What's the word for a 12-sided thing? It's a 12-sided crystal. It's got like suspended glitter inside of it. We have some plastic gems, which look quite a bit different from the gems I'm used to having, the glass ones I just showed off. And we have our deck, and we have, let me see. The world consists of 6 realms. This is a weird font, so let me see. So, oh, it's 6 types. Yeah, my battle spirits, I think I only had 4. I had light, dark, fire, and grass. I think those were all the types they had at the time, or at least it was all the types that we got, because the demo deck had 3, and then the first set added light. So I guess they've added, probably like water and psychic or something. Fire, gloom, radiance, frost, and water. I think those are new. I don't remember those being in the original setup here. Long ago, the realms were separate land in constant conflict. Then, 250 years ago, a hero called K appeared, ending the wars and unifying the realms. I should be doing this in my epic voice. Long ago, the realms were disparate lands in constant conflict. Then, 250 years ago, a hero called K appeared, ending the wars and unifying the realms into a single peaceful empire under his rule. Sorry, but peaceful and empire have never gone together. However, as many histories have proven, peace never lasts. 2.5 centuries later, law and order has grown lax. Government corruption has spread, and the Empire's authority has begun to wane, threatening an end to the era. So we have a fun little map. Oh, so the realm of water is unknown, and the realm of forest is unknown. So I guess maybe those aren't in this little starter set here. The Star Havoc Age, and there's a little QR code to take a look at things. But here, let's see, we have this little thing here. Ah, so this is just a basic disclaimer sheet. And we have... Oh, no. Let me guess. It's a playmat with the rules printed on the back. No! They're still making the same mistakes! It's the same mistakes! How am I supposed to learn the game if when I want to check the rules, it's like, oh, let me put my deck down here, let me put the cores down here. Oh, I've got a bunch of cards spread out. Hey, what am I supposed to do with this part? I don't know, let me check the rules. Oops, destroyed game state. That's why you don't do this. That's why you do not do this. Ugh. The rules and the mat are supposed to work in tandem to teach you the rules. The obvious solution to this is if this was like a 2-player mat. I mean, I guess in this point they're trying to save a bit of money, but you know, they could have made this whole part 1 and part 2, like this could have fit on half of they could have just like unfolded this, made this half of a mat, then had the rules on the other side. I hate this. It cheeses me off when they do this. It cheeses me off so much when companies just do this. Okay, so let's see what we got. So we have Spirits, Nexus, and Magic. About 30 cores. So let me see. So it's 5 on the life, 3 from the start. So you only get 3 at the start of the game. Okay, so I believe in the original you got 4. That's not much of a change. I think so far it's the same. Yeah, in this version of the game you start with 4. In the new one you start with just 3. So far, it is completely identical to what I was just describing before. So you'll gain a core at the start of each turn. So you get an additional core each turn, and all the cores that were in the trash move back to the step there. And the reduction symbol. So far, this is exactly the same. Aside from only getting aside from the card back and getting only 3 starting cores. Oh, one of them's the red one, huh? From the void and place them into your reserve area or your play sheet. So why is there a red core? 3 cores and your soul core. Okay, so that's what this little red thing here is. So you still have the 3 starting. You still have the 4 starting cores, but one of them is your soul core. I guess maybe there's some cards that can only be played using the soul core. So let me see. Once per turn, you may set a burst card by taking a card from your hand that had a burst effect and placing it face down. If there's already a set burst card, you may discard it and set a new burst card. Okay, so this is like the arsenal. You may freely move cores on your field as often as you like. Field and place it on your new card. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what the soul core is. So burst cards are new. I'm not sure what's the importance of the soul core. It's not mentioned on here. Maybe it'll be in the card somewhere. But so far, it looks like the rules are basically identical. So you get the red core. It's kind of nice to see these in plastic, and 3 blue cores. These are balls instead of the kind of flattened disc of my glass ones. Although it means I can still use my glass ones. And then 5 in life, and I have a new zone to set trap card. So let's take a look at the cards we actually have in here. Got kind of an interesting sort of foiling effect on Imperial Thunder Dragon Siege Worm. Kind of looks like oil on top of water. So level 1, 2, 3. Confront. When the spirit attacks, your opponent must block if able. Cost 6. Possible reduction 3. Level 3. During your attack step, all of your spirits gain Awaken and with Awaken, gain Confront. Rain Needle. So it looks like we're getting 2 of each card. So I have like a full red deck from this setup here. So Rain Needle. So this is a basic one. It has a cost of 1. Do we have any cost zeros? I do not see any cost zeros. Maybe that is something they've gotten rid of. So we have our big signature guy here, starting at 4,000 for 1, and you can reduce that by as much as 3. I feel like I've seen this guy somewhere before. I know there was like a Battle Spirits anime that had a guy who just kind of pulled a massive dragon out of nowhere on turn 1, although now that I think about it, the Battle Spirits anime, the one that I saw, had this absolutely ludicrous premise. You know, like the Last Starfighter, where like a video game like recruits like people to fight in an intergalactic war. In this case, it's a card game recruiting people to fight a war in another realm. It was sort of an isekai series, but he was not sent to the realm by Truck-kun. Instead, he was kidnapped by butterflies. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Before Truck-kun, there was Butterfly Tachi. So what else we have here? So this one just has flavor text, I guess. It's white flavor text. So it's not italicized, so it's a bit difficult to tell. So this is like just a basic monster, kind of like. In fact, I think it's the same stats as the level 1 I showed off before. Where is he? Yeah, there he is. So Terra Dragon, Rockceratops. It's the exact same stats. 1 cost, 1 reduction. This is a Star Dragon rather than a Terra Dragon, but it's the same card. These are the same cards. Okay, so they actually. It doesn't look like they've actually changed the rules much at all, aside from the Soul Gem and the Burst mechanic. Dragon Shock Troop. Awaken. You may remove any number of cores from your other spirits and place them onto this spirit. When destroyed, effects are not triggered by this effect. Okay, so let me see. Do I have more to clarify? Awaken. Effects are not triggered by this effect. Ah, okay, so. Oh, because it's a flash ability, I see. So a flash ability, this is the instant speed effects is flash. you can really only activate Flash during combat after declaring attackers and declaring blockers. So this guy can shuffle some cores in. So if you have like multiple cores across multiple characters, this guy can just like shuffle a few cores onto himself during a fight to defeat whatever he's up against. And since you can do this as part of an Awaken, you can essentially have your characters like swing their weight around. Just basically all of your monsters can like swing at as high a level as you feel like risking the cores for. So that's kind of a neat effect. Dragron Captain, Dagron. It's like that Dagron joke where people misspell dragon. It's like that is a legit complaint. Dragron Trooper. I know it is Dragron. Oh no, it's Dragonoid. I didn't know Bakugan was in this game. While this spirit attacks, it gets 2,000 battle points. Very typical kind of red-ish ability. Like I said, this is very similar to. It is very similar to other like similar magical likes where you know what each color does. No, you can actually kind of see the cores in line on them there. That's kind of cool. That's another Awaken. And I guess the idea is that when destroyed effects are not triggered because when a monster loses all of its cores, it is discarded. So this is to prevent you from just going, haha, I activate it. 3 costs that can come in for free if you do it. When this spirit destroys one of your opponent's spirits via comparing BP, select one of your opponent's nexus and destroy it. And Blazing Boar. Select a red spirit card from your trash and return it from your hand. Oh, they got some seriously good cards in here. Blade Dino Parasaur. Confront. Your opponent must block if able. When the spirit attacks, it may pay the spirit's soul. Okay, so this is what this is for. So if you move a soul, some cards gain a benefit from having a soul gem put on them. So this one has an effect where if you get a soul gem onto it, and like I said, you're allowed to freely rearrange your cores as you want on your turn, you can spend that soul to draw an extra card. Okay, that's cool. But it has to be level 2, so you have to have 3 cores on it. So you spend the soul core when it attacks, and you get to draw a card. Although that's when it attacks, and since it has confront, it has to be blocked. And if it has only 3 tokens on there, it drops down to a much more measly 2,000 power. So gotta be careful with this one. And here's a Nexus, Scorched Battlefield. I think... Oh! That is literally this exact card, although it's called the Burning Battlefield in the original one. I think they're both called Shakunetsu Battlefield. I think it's the same. It's just a slightly different translation, but it's the exact same card. So hey, we got some legacy content in here. That doesn't mean it's legal for play though. But yeah, so if you played the original Battle Spirits, this is super and incredibly similar. And of course, we also have spells, charge to draw, and that is also yep. It is, again, literally the same thing. So the question is, do I get both of these effects, or do I only get one? So, yeah, neat. It's a bunch of cards that are literally the same as cards from my demo deck. Okay, this is cool. And here's Landmine, and here's the flash cards. Although it looks like you can still play it from your hand for its effect, but you can also set it as a trap. I assume you have to. Do you have to pay the cost when it's activated like that? I assume you do. You may then pay this card's cost to activate its flash effect. Oh, okay, so the explosive effect, the burst effect can be done for free, but then you can pay its cost of 3 with possible reduction of 1 to do that other effect. Okay, so looking at it, aside from the addition of the Soul Core, which has a once per turn effect, and the burst mechanic, this appears to be largely exactly the same. Okay, so if you played the original Battle Spirits, barely anything has changed about it at all. It is pretty much straight up Battle Spirits for better or poorer. That might be it. So, all right. So this will be neat. I'll see if let's say I said this was through TCG Player. Maybe I'll see if reaching out to Bandai can get me some more interesting stuff. Although between these 2 kits, I do have enough to play test the game and maybe invite somebody over, and I can. And because these are both the same decks, I could combine them together into one regular deck, because none of them have more than 2 copies of any card. And if it's the same rules as the original one, I believe it is deck limit 4, if this one says so. Oh, up to 3 copies of any card. Okay, so I guess I cannot combine these two together into one deck because they are limit 3. Or that's the old rules. What does the new rules say? 4 copies. So it's that's another change. So the soul cores are new. It is limit 4 rather than limit 3. It has to be a 50 card deck. A 50 card deck at limit 4 rather than a 40 card deck at limit 3. That's a change. The 1 soul core is a thing. Although the blue cores are still the same. I can still use my glass beads if I want to. All right, cool. Okay, so it has been changed very little from the original, and I know a lot of people like the original. It did go on to be successful in Japan. In fact, there was, ironically enough, a Digimon-themed Battle Spirit set right before the Digimon card game itself emerged. So, all right, so that's a brief look at the Battle Spirit Saga game. It really is just good old Battle Spirits back from the dead. So, yeah, that is Battle Spirit Saga, and until next time, this is Kodak signing off.
会いたかったぜジークブルム